Welcome back to Living and Investing in Cancun. This time around, we are casting the spotlight on a project called Corazon de Playa, and judging by the name, as you might be able to guess, it is located in the heart of Playa del Carmen. A number of units have their own terraces, private pools, and they're starting at $118,000. In this video, we will be talking about what else Corazon de Playa has to offer, as well as what Playa del Carmen has to offer itself, so that hopefully by the end of this video, we will have helped you arrive at your own conclusion as to whether or not it might be right for you. Stay tuned. Hey again everybody, my name is Frank. I am the man in the chair, and I am partnered with the lovely Diana, a licensed agent with Net Real Estate, and we help people just like you who are wanting to either live or invest in Cancun or its surrounding areas find that perfect spot. So do not hesitate. Whether you are 9 days away or 90, reach out to our team. Whether you shoot us a text, send us an email, give us a call any day of the week, any time of day. It is what we love to do. So yes, as mentioned in this video, we are talking about a project called Corazon de Playa, and I feel like a good place to start would be that of its location, which yes, spoiler alert, is in the name, so let's get into it. In case you didn't know, Playa del Carmen is a very popular destination, both for residential and tourism. It's a very livable city with a great quality of life. It has a loaded downtown life, and because the city is located on the coastline, you have easy access to the beach as well. This makes Playa a little bit unique because take Cancun for example. Of course it is relatively near ocean, that's what everybody pictures when they think of Cancun, but its actual downtown is a bit removed from the shoreline. In Playa del Carmen, you also have the very popular Fifth Avenue. It is totally pedestrian. It is a famous street full of restaurants, shopping, nightlife. What's interesting as well about Playa is that it really does lend itself to most lifestyles. In addition to all of the aforementioned things, it even has cool little spots for foodies which are blossoming, an abundance of public beaches as well, not privatized by hotels, but of course you also have the option of beach clubs. It has an element of professionalism in addition to, of course, the tourism. It even has recently installed cycling lanes for safety, which is the type of thing you'd see in a place like Portland or Austin. And worth mentioning, one of its major industries is actually healthcare. You've got an abundance of hospitals and doctors, and of course, while most places everywhere are getting more and more and more expensive, Playa is no different. However, in contrast to a lot of the booming places in the United States, for example, Playa is still relatively considered affordable. In addition to that, similar to a place like Tulum, for example, which is also part of this larger, more broad area called Riviera Maya, it has a culture of people interested in things like holistic medicine, an alternative lifestyle, spiritualism, etc. Not only that, Playa del Carmen is great for families too. It even has early childhood education, a great amount of diversity. I mean, you're going to see a lot of Americans there as well, and great residential communities, perhaps more so than other cities within Riviera Maya. Worth mentioning as well, and because of all of the things I just talked about, Playa del Carmen is among the top tourist destinations worldwide, and it accounts for 50% of Mexico's overall tourism rates, averaging around 6.5 million tourists per year, and on average about 76% occupancy of vacation rentals. It has 10 world-class natural and theme parks, protected biospheres, nature reserves, around 400 hotels and resorts, so on and so forth, seeing a population growth of 110% in the past 10 years and around 425% in the past 20, which makes it basically the fastest growing place in all of Latin America, with an annual average population growth rate of 8.4%, averaging between 10 and 30% of annual return on investment. So with all that said, is Playa del Carmen perfect? Most certainly not. There is no such thing as a perfect location. Ultimately, it is entirely subjective and all about the right fit, the right decision for you, etc. That being said, Playa del Carmen is a very popular location, as mentioned, for a lot of people who either want to live or invest there. And of course, it is my job to relay that information to you. But now with all of that out of the way, let's get to the project itself, which once again is called Corazon de Playa. And not to be redundant, but yes, Corazon de Playa is located, of course, in the heart of Playa del Carmen, which means you are close to all kinds of things. An elementary school, a mini market, an all-access sports center, 2 malls, 2 supermarkets, one of which is Walmart, a bus station, a public park, obviously all in addition to the very famous 5th Avenue and the ocean itself. Corazon de Playa touts themselves on representing the best of the city, from its design to its amenities. They pride themselves on being ideal for vacationers, tourists, digital nomads as they call them, all of course while being located in a high capital gain zone. Such features and amenities include 6 floors plus a rooftop, 21 total units, 2 commercial spaces, an elevator, a lobby, a laundry area, 24/7 security, a bicycle port, and even a Tesla charging center, and further amenities such as a panoramic pool, a pool bar, a sun deck, a gym, a grilling zone, a working space, yoga, steam room, sauna, all of that good stuff. Truly luxury living. Corazon de Playa also takes their details very seriously, getting as specific as choosing textures that represent the Riviera Maya, incorporating regional natural materials like mahogany wood and marble stone, blending the textures in neutral colors offering warmth and comfort to their residents. And yes, as mentioned earlier in this video, a lot of the units have terraces and private pools. Further specifics include things like fiber optic Wi-Fi, camera systems and controlled access with cards, really going the extra mile to ensure that this development is keeping up with the times. If you haven't been able to tell by now, they really do take their aesthetics and their design and their atmosphere, their appearance, the details, all very seriously, and there is so much more to cover, so let's get into that as well. For starters, you can see it from the very outside of the building, whether we're talking about the front view or the details within, showcasing the marble choices, the concrete choices, the wood choices, the ceramic floor choices, the varying colors of paint interiors that they call natural linen, sweet orange, shell white, dowsing sand historic, and blustery sky. All the way down to equipment in the kitchen as well, the microwaves they come with, the fridges they come with, bathroom equipment too, showcasing the shower head they choose, the white ceramic sink, towel racks, really going above and beyond to offer the ultimate experience for either the tenant or the owner. Now, with all of the specifics out of the way, let's move on to the units themselves, the good stuff, and then we'll talk about the pricing, we'll talk about the furnishing options, so let's jump into it. As mentioned, at Corazon de Playa, you have a total of 21 units. Among those 21 units, 10 of them, almost half, are going to be studio floor plans. 2 of them are going to be 1-bedroom floor plans. 6 of them are going to be 2-bedroom floor plans. And lastly, only 3 of them are going to be 2-bedroom lock-off floor plans, which of course, in the case of lock-offs, is most certainly ideal for investors, Airbnbs, having 2 tenants at once, or living there yourself while you rent the other half out, etc. Now, if you remember me briefly mentioning that they start at $118,000 and you were asking yourself if there was a catch, in my opinion, there is a bit of a catch, and that would be the size of some of these floor plans, particularly the studios. So let's get into the sizes from the smallest all the way up to the largest, and then we'll talk pricing. Starting off with the smallest end of the spectrum, we have the studio floor plans, which range between 272 square feet all the way up to 355 square feet. Now, if you're anything like me, that sounds pretty microscopic. However, of course, they do serve a purpose. While I personally may not choose to live in a space that small, it would make sense if you are renting it out to a tenant, for example, for, say, a weekend, that kind of thing. Moving on from the studios, we have the 1-bedroom floor plans, which range between around 519 square feet up to around 597. Still, of course, on the smaller end, just subjectively speaking, but of course, starting to make more sense if you choose to live there. Following the 1-bedroom floor plans, we have the 2-bedroom floor plans, starting at 518 square feet, all the way up to around 706 square feet. Lastly, of course, we have the 2-bedroom lock-off floor plans, starting at their smallest of around 744 square feet, up to around 901 square feet. So yes, even the largest floor plan you can get at Corazon de Playa is still small by many people's standards. For some, it's no big deal, it works perfectly, it serves its purpose. For others, it might not be what you're looking for. Either way, when we talk about pricing, it does start to make a bit more sense in terms of what you get for your money. So at last, let's talk about pricing, and then after that we can go over some of the furnishing options, which yes, they offer as well. When talking about pricing, what better way than to look at the price list and inventory itself? As you can see, despite certain critiques you or I may have, this place is most certainly in high demand. And of course, when you see the color yellow, that does mean that this unit is reserved. What I think is very cool about Corazon de Playa is that to reserve a unit, it is only around $1,000. It is so common with projects and developments like this for it to easily be $5,000, for example. So Corazon de Playa most definitely likes to make it easy if you are interested. That way, in a way, it's yours as you get your ducks in a row to go further into contract. And as you can guess, the pricing does go in accordance with the sizes. As mentioned earlier in this video, the cheapest you can find is around $118,000, which is the 2,193,975 pesos number you see. All the way up to their highest number, $273,000, which, as I'm sure you noticed, is the number 5,071,500 pesos. So this is when it gets really appealing, at least in my opinion. By now, we have talked about a number of different projects and developments, and yes, some of them are in the 100s, perhaps the high 100s, but certainly none of them have been as low as $118,000, and many of the other ones we talked about as well go all the way up to $500,000-$600,000 for their units. Granted, of course, they might be rooftop, they might be ocean views, they might be the whole shebang, right? But for the most expensive price in this entire project to be $273,000, all of a sudden, for all of the amenities, for all of the finishing touches, all the specifics I went over, it starts to make a lot of sense. Now, last but certainly not least, let's talk furnishing packages. For the studio floor plans, which there are 10 of, they do offer two different furnishing packages. One of them is going to go for around $8,095, and the other is going to go for around $9,700. They include things like a coffee maker, a knife set, a trash can, a blender, dishes, silverware, tables and chairs, bathroom and laundry accessories, a 50-inch TV, king-size bed. You get the gist. After that, you've got the furnishing package for the one bedroom, which is going to be around $16,700. A lot of the same, to be honest. It's just going to be more in accordance, of course, with the size, which naturally is the case as we keep going up in size. So, for example, your two-bedroom furnishing package will be $23,700, and your lock-off, the largest floor plan furnishing package, will be $27,500. Now, ultimately, if you choose to live there yourself, either primarily or as a secondary home, you might prefer to furnish it yourself with your own taste and perhaps save a little bit of money. However, a lot of people in this space are looking to buy it and immediately turn it into a money-making machine through Airbnb or whatever else, in which case the furnishing packages make a whole lot of sense. Ultimately, just something to keep in mind. Not all projects or developments that we've covered on this channel offer furnishing packages. It is, I wouldn't say rare, but it's not a guarantee, and I honestly like it as an option. And so there you have it, a brief overview, if you will, of Corazon de Playa. Now, obviously, we have so much more information that we did not put into this video if we didn't want it to be 30 minutes or even an hour long, which I'm sure I could easily do if I'm talking about everything, including payment plans, including promos for payment plans, just even further specifics and information that we will happily provide should you reach out to us. Otherwise, yes, there you have it, a brief snapshot of what Corazon de Playa has to offer, as well as what Playa del Carmen has to offer itself. Hopefully, we've done a good enough job of helping you arrive at your own conclusion as to whether or not it might be right for you. As mentioned, our job is helping you find that perfect spot, so once again, do not hesitate. Whether you are 9 days away or 90, reach out to our team, whether you shoot us a text, send us an email, give us a call any day of the week, any time of day. If you're new to the channel, obviously we talk about living and investing in Cancun and its surrounding areas, so be sure to click the subscribe button if you haven't already and ring that little bell to get notified anytime we put out a new video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Click the like button as well if we've provided any value for you. Share it with anybody you know, and until the next one, you guys, my name is Frank. This is Living and Investing in Cancun, and we will absolutely catch you later.